Mary was a very fine girl. She was the girl I was attracted to. We got married after quite a short courtship. So she was very attractive. She was talented in music, and she had a sense of humor, and she had a good social conscience, and all of those good qualities that appealed to me. And as I say, we had quite a short courtship, so I was very smitten by her. And certainly, as regards her mental health, there was no sign of any kind of problem there whatsoever.
My first experience with psychiatry was going to have a baby. I got nitrous oxide and I reacted to the nitrous oxide. It was it affected me, my mind. Um, then I got Sparine, which is a neuroleptic. I got that twice, and the second time it is even down on my records that I was allergic to that. But the doctors didn't take any notice of that. They just continued to give me more drugs after my child was born. And on the third day afterwards, I was sent to a psychiatric hospital. I was given ECT at that time. I refer to it as electroshock myself because ECT to me, it's electroconvulsive therapy. It was never therapy for me. It was wiping away important memories. The worst aspect of that was that some of the beautiful pieces that I learned prior to that, one of them was called Sonata Pathétique and by Beethoven, and I could play that by memory for the diploma because I had practiced 5 hours every day for 2 years. So it was very much in my memory, and after that I couldn't play it at all. It's very clear to me that electroshock can wipe away certain parts of you, and I believe that everything that was part of me should be mine to have, not for some doctors to take away, thinking that it's helping me because it didn't help me. Over a period of 6 weeks, I received 13 different electroshocks, including at the same time, including many different neuroleptics, at least 5, experimenting with them. The one I remember the most, or I noticed the most, was Halidol, because I know this is a very, very powerful neuroleptic, and I think that it was crazy to give it to me because I had just had a baby. I didn't get a chance to go to home to see what it'd be like, even to go home and be with my child at home.
After her treatment, she was a completely different person. She was heavily drugged. She took 3 tablets every day. I kind of oversaw her taking her tablets, making sure she took them at the appointed time. And the result was she was very, very drowsy during the day. She was very stiff in her movements. She held her arms quite stiffly by her side. She would fall asleep quite easily and could never arise any day until well after lunchtime. So she was very kind of out of it. She functioned okay, but not by any means as a normal person.
I came off the final drug, which was lithium, which I was taking for many years too, about 15 years, in 2000. And I was finally off all the drugs I had been on prior to that. And even very soon after that, what was very really good for me was I was able to connect again. I was able to connect. My feelings returned, and my cognitive powers returned as well. And this for me was the most wonderful thing in the world, even though I was very hurt by the drugs from taking them from almost a lifetime, because I could feel myself again, and I could think again. And no matter what other adverse effects I had, which I had many, this was so important to me that I wanted to stay off them for the rest of my life after that.
Psychiatry has had a major impact on our lives and on Mary's lives. Now, I would grant it that the people concerned thought they were acting with the best of intentions. But the reality was that psychiatry severely damaged and compounded whatever difficulties Mary suffered after the birth of her daughter all of those years ago. So today I would say to people that think twice before you go near psychiatry, that the treatments intended to cure very often have the opposite effect and in fact damage, and the person can end up being worse off in many respects than they were originally.
I see a vast difference in my mum now since she's come off all the medication. She's a different person completely. She's a very independent person now. She's not intimidated easily by things. She's very spirited, very passionate, whereas when she was on the medication, none of that passion came out. She was very zombified, if you would like to describe it like that. Her emotions were very suppressed. She's full of, now she does things that amazes me. She goes to conferences. Before, she was quite a shy person and her emotions were definitely suppressed. Whereas now she doesn't get intimidated by things or speaking in front of hundreds of people. She's got lots of energy, she's got lots of belief in herself, and she's just a completely different person now.